buenos días, sean bienvenidos a un nuevo episodio del Otro Rincón Podcast. El día de hoy estaremos desgranando uno de los proyectos más nuevos a la hora de hablar de selecciones nacionales. Recientemente tocamos el tema de Islas Marshall y ahora le toca a Nauru. Se trata del tercer país soberano más pequeño del mundo, ubicado a 1.300 kilómetros al noroeste de Islas Salomón, en el Oceáno Pacífico. En los últimos años se han dado algunos pasos buscando desarrollar el fútbol allí. Ya anteriormente habían solicitado ser miembros tanto de la Organización de Fútbol Oceánica como de la FIFA, pero se les negó la solicitud. Esto debido a la falta de infraestructura y un sistema de ligas. Cabe resaltar que Nauru nunca ha jugado partidos internacionales oficiales, solo unos pocos encuentros entre equipos representativos. La Asociación de Fútbol de Nauru se refundó en 2018 y luego nuevamente en 2023, año en el que nombraron al británico Charlie Pomroy como su entrenador. Recordar que este país será sede de los venideros Juegos de Micronesia a celebrarse en 2026. Precisamente con Pomroy logramos conversar sobre este interesante proyecto futbolístico. Le damos la bienvenida al coach. Hello coach, thanks for your time. How did you start in football? What were your steps?
I started in football aged 5 years old. Like many English boys, I wanted to be a professional football player. Spent all of my childhood pursuing that dream. It was 18 when I realized that I wasn't going to make it. And at 21 I quit playing football to focus fully on becoming a professional coach. I started my coaching career at Stevenage Borough, which was my local team. They now play in the third tier of English football. And they were great years. I learned a lot. I worked with some great coaches and worked through my coaching badges. I'd spent most of my childhood traveling the world and playing football, which meant I always knew in the back of my mind that I wanted to travel. I always knew in the back of my mind that there was football elsewhere in the world that needed to be developed, and it was always a dream of mine to coach in the US. And actually a dream of mine to coach in Brazil. So these were ideas that I've had from a very young age and things that I wanted to do.
What attracted your attention to go to Asian football?
In all honesty, Asian football happened by accident. I came to Cambodia in 2012, and my original job was working in community football, connecting NGOs in Cambodia through football, delivering coaching sessions, and then every weekend NGOs would participate in a league. What I quickly recognized is that there was a lot of young talent, so there was maybe 2 or 3 players from one school and then 2 from another and 3 from another, and we decided that if we'd put those players together, what a team we would have. So originally when we set up our academy, every single player was from an NGO background. The academy grew very, very quickly, and I started to grow my own name in Cambodia and Asian football, and it's just my career in Asia has never really been planned. It's kind of just evolved naturally from my 2 head coaches roles with Saltilo Angkor, who were a pro club here in Cambodia, to owning a football club here in Cambodia, and now to my national manager's job with Nauru. Nothing has been planned. It's all just evolved naturally and happened because I've been in the right place at the right time.
What does anchor mean to you? How do you deal with the issue of cultural difference in Cambodia?
To me, Angkor City is something very important, obviously, because it's something that I've built from the ground up. from starting out as a youth academy, progressing into a youth development system that then turns into a semi-professional team that then graduates to becoming a professional team. It's something I'm very proud of, and obviously means a lot to me. However, as soon as we turned professional, it was a tough step. It was 2 years of constant fighting to find financial resources, finding the right people to come in and love the club the way that I do, and that's kind of where I found we probably had problems where, this was a job for other people. To me, it was a way of life. And I can't expect anybody to walk into something that they don't own and love it as much as the owner does. For me, it obviously means a lot, but there are far more important things in this world than football. To Cambodia hasn't been too difficult. I largely believe that as a foreigner going into any country in the world, in any continent in the world, you owe it to the country that you're in to respect their values and respect their culture, try to learn their language, and live by your own beliefs and live by your own principles, but do it within the confines of their environment. Cambodian life is not much different to UK life, really. There's rich people, there's poor people, there's people in danger, there's a developing middle class, there are people that have money, there are people that don't, there are people that go to work every day, there are people that don't need to or can't. So there's not too much different in terms of way of life. It's sunnier here and it's hotter, which is nice, but it still rains when you don't want it to, and sometimes it's too hot to do anything. So there's pros and cons culturally to everything. But when it comes to football, there is a world of difference. The football culture here it's almost non-existent. This is the biggest hurdle that I've found so far. For me, football is a way of life. It's almost a religion in the UK, in Brazil, Italy as well. They're the three probably the biggest countries in the world where I would say football is ingrained into everyday society. Your friendship groups are sometimes determined on the teams you support, and you can't marry that girl because she supports Arsenal. Or maybe not as far as that, but it's sometimes the way. Cambodia, if football stopped tomorrow, nobody would care. We would be without a sport that people enjoy, and that's it. Professional players are not paid enough money for it to matter to them. They could probably earn more money in a sales job than they could playing football. If they went to college for a couple of years, they'd earn more money as a doctor or as an insurance salesman than they would playing football. So that's where it's backwards here. And culturally, getting these players to care enough to put in the extra work. I'm not saying they don't work hard. That's a misrepresentation. But it's difficult for them to comprehend. At 30 years old or 35 years old, this career will end, and they won't have enough money in the bank. They won't have enough money in the bank to retire on. It's not like professional football in the UK, where at 35 you retire as a millionaire or comfortable. They don't have that here, and so they're taking side jobs and finding other ways to earn money, and obviously it's difficult to maintain a professional standard. So culturally, that's the biggest issue that I found. But all in all, they loved it. I'll add that obviously I know countries like the Spanish and the Dutch and Argentinians, I know they all love their football, and they have passionate big teams and passionate fans. That's not to undermine them in any way, shape, or form as well. But I do believe that Brazil, Italy, and England, they're the three countries that genuinely have it in their everyday life. Live and breathe football.
How did the opportunity to lead Nauru arise?
The Nauru opportunity came about due to connections. Really, I was on the board. I was on the board of the Nauru Soccer Federation, which has only been formed for the last 2 years. So I was on the board. I was on the board of that, and then the opportunity came as we were looking for a head coach. I hadn't really considered it, but due to the fact that my club in Cambodia had been banned for a year, the timing was perfect, and they asked me whether I'd be interested, and I said yes, of course. Long term, I think there's probably someone that would be better placed who needs to be on the island full time. But to get this project started and to get it up and running, and to get football development on the island moving, I'm proud to be the coach, and I'm going to do everything that I can along with our team to make this project a success.
What are the biggest challenges team face? What are the biggest challenges team face?
The biggest challenges are, like most things in football, financial. As it stands right now, our development team is spread all over the world. What we need is to get everybody onto the island together at the same time, so that we can implement our ideas and begin the project. The issue with that is, from the funding side of things, we do need some investment. So that's the biggest challenge right now, is to kickstart this program. We need that little bit of investment, or we need somebody that's sees this project as something that's important, and wants to invest some money so that we can get things moving. Obviously, we are fundraising ourselves, and trying to get some money into the bank. The project will go ahead. It's taking a little bit longer than we had expected.
What are the next steps to take in the development of football in this territory?
Thankfully, football in that region is actually growing very, very quickly. You've got the Kiribati and the Marshall Islands, and thankfully, football in that region is actually growing very, very quickly. You've got the Kiribati and the Marshall Islands, and projects like this that are developing quickly. They've got people. Again, the big difference being they have people on the islands, and they have a development team in country working every day on this project. So that's the difference, and that's why they're moving quickly. But the OFC is, it's a developing territory, and there's some good football there and some talented players, and I do believe there's every opportunity of success.
Solo queda agradecer al coach Charlie Pomroy por su tiempo, por contarnos más del interesante proyecto, y culminamos invitando a que estén atentos al próximo episodio que salga del podcast. Gracias por el apoyo.